Hello and welcome everybody to another StarCraft 2 Cast by Glitch. Today I'm bringing to you a ZVP on Metalopolis, and spawning here on the right side of the map in the 3 o'clock position as the blue Zerg we have Team Liquid's Ret, and spawning in the 8 o'clock position as the red Protoss we have NaNiWa. Now, this is going to be a best of 3. I am casting the entire series. This is a set of matches from the European Battle.net Invitational. So if you go out there somewhere out on the internet, I think you can actually even go to StarCraft2.com, there are versions of these games already cast by the pros, Mr. Bitters, and holy crap, I'm forgetting the name of the other guy. Oh, Rotterdam are both casting these games, or they did already cast all these games at the actual event itself, but this was a game that I didn't get to catch, and so I really just wanted to cast it because Ret's actually a player that I wanted to watch a lot more lately. I've always known who Ret was, and I knew that he was on Team Liquid and that he's been around since Brood War. The guy's been around forever. He was a really, really good Brood War player. But recently, he's been doing really well. He did really well at the Battle.net Invitational. I won't tell you how well he or NaNiWa did, just because I don't want to spoil the end result of the whole tournament, or this series of matches for that matter. So I'm not going to say who won, but both of these players did exceedingly well at the tournament. And so, Ret, like I was saying, is just a player that he's so macro-oriented. I love macro-style play, and Ret will look for any excuse he can to just drone up like crazy. It is not common to see Ret just get tons and tons of drones way early in the game, and like, to my eyes, it always looks risky. I'm always like, man, how can Ret pull this off? How can he get so many drones? It boggles my mind, but he's just such a good macro-oriented player that I've really wanted to watch his style of play a lot more recently. Now, interestingly enough, despite my talking about how economic-focused Ret is, he has gone for a pool first. He has not yet thrown down that hatchery, and NaNiWa has scouted this. He has seen that Ret has just gone for that spawning pool and has gone for that gas, so it looks like he's going to be getting a quick ling speed here and maybe getting up a few lings before he expands. NaNiWa really determined, though, to stop that hatch from going down. He is patrolling at the natural expansion of LiquidRet. On the NaNiWa side of things, we have a second gas going down right now. Gateway is up, a cybernetics core coming out, and we've got one zealot right now coming out onto the field. If we check out that harvester tab right now, we can see that NaNiWa is actually ahead in the harvester count, 19 to 15 right now. He's actually in a pretty good spot. But 4 lings are now out on the map. Looks like Ret did manage to get that expansion down without too much trouble, and his lings are now chasing away this probe. Zergling speed just now getting started for Ret. He does have a queen now up on the field injecting that hatchery, and looks like NaNiWa is now chrono boosting out a sentry. Looks like this is a good choice for NaNiWa. This will allow him to prevent those Zerglings just in case Ret, since he knows that that Zergling speed is going to be coming up a little early, just because Ret did go for that pool and gas first. He didn't exactly see the timing on the gas, so he doesn't know exactly how soon that this Zergling speed is going to be done. There could be a big Zergling speed attack coming shortly. So he wants to be able to get that sentry so he can force field that ramp if he needs to. But it looks like right now he's going to be pushing out. Looks like NaNiWa is going to be looking to expand pretty soon. He has now placed a pylon down at the bottom of the ramp. This is going to allow him to warp in units down here on the bottom, and it looks like he might be saving up right now. He's at 215 minerals, might be saving up to throw down that expansion. Ret trying to scout that expansion, make sure he knows exactly what the timing of that expansion is. And looks like he's sending some overlords across the map. I like this by Ret. There are a lot of players that don't like to send their overlords out. There are 2 different styles of thought when it comes to your overlords. For some players say that you basically have overlords give you free map hacks. Some players say that, you know what, if you're Zerg, you basically have free map hacks because you can throw these overlords all over the map and basically have full vision for just the cost of 100 minerals, and it gives you some supply as well. And yes, you risk your supply by putting them all out there, but you really do get to know what is going on around the whole map. You get to see your opponent's unit movements. Even if they take out an overlord, you know that there are units there, and possibly could be out of position, so that you could go for a nice little counterattack. So it's always good to just have those overlords out on the map. The other school of thought, of course, being you should keep them in your base where they're nice and safe and protected. and use your good game sense to know where your opponent is. Use those Zerglings. Zerglings are cheap, and they're easy to get across the map. And they only cost 25 minerals. So yeah, the other school of thought is to just use them Zerglings. Get those Zerglings out there, use them for map control, and really be scouting your opponent. Really know what he's doing all the time with those Zerglings. So it's two really different styles of play. If you do go for that latter style of play, you do want to be sure that you are very active with those Zerglings, as Rhett is being right now. Rhett is sending in a small pack of Zerglings to his opponent's base, going to see if he can't snipe off a few workers' kills. He has seen the Nexus has gone down, and it looks like he's going to be content to just sit here and chill. He's going to know exactly when the forces of NaNiWa come out, but interestingly enough, we have a Stargate that has now gone down for NaNiWa, and he is just chrono boosting out a Void Ray on it right now. Rhett has no idea that this is coming, and he has thrown down this third expansion. If we check out the harvester count right now, we can see that Rhett is up 35 harvesters to 31 harvesters, and he is still producing a ton. 8 more harvesters on the way. He's going to be well on the way for the economy. Only 1 gas so far. He is throwing down that Roachhorn, has an evolution chamber going down, but he has not yet scouted that, oh, he has now scouted that starport. I guess those Zerglings, I missed it there, did manage to sneak up that ramp a little bit and see that starport going down. This evolution chamber actually might have been a response to seeing that starport, and yeah, looks like he is getting a drone here in position to try to throw down that Spore Crawler. Wouldn't be surprised to see him throw down one at each of his expansions pretty soon here, as this Void Ray is now moving across the map, and it just might get spotted by that Zergling, or if not by that Zergling, then this one on the Xel'Naga Tower will definitely see it. Rhett does know that this Void Ray is coming in to try to deal some damage here. Rhett still just droning up like crazy. 51 harvesters to 39 harvesters right now, and yes, he is throwing down spores at each of his expansions, and looks like he's going to try to defend his third there. Only 1 queen here so far. Throwing down a second Spore Crawler, he's really going to need it if he's going to want to be able to adequately defend against this Void Ray, and especially if there are any more Phoenixes that are on the way. Looks like NaNiWa has now managed to poke into the base, has a couple of units here, has a Phoenix now out on the field. Looks like he's not chrono boosting out anymore, but he is transitioning into a Colossus style of play as the robotics bay is now going down. Looks like this Phoenix and this Void Ray is going to get into the main of LiquidRet and try to get a little bit of harassment done, but there are a couple of queens here that NaNiWa is going to have to be very careful against, because these queens can actually take down this Void Ray quite quickly if this Phoenix doesn't start picking him up. So it looks like he has managed to hold that off, and it looks like Rhett is now going to be throwing down that Hydralisk Den to try to combat those air units, and he has poked in with some Zerglings. He has now seen that there is a gateway here. He has seen the worker count of NaNiWa, and unable to, I don't think he has yet seen the other tech. No, he's not yet seen the robotics bay or the robotics facility. But I like this style of play from NaNiWa very much. This 2 air units, just a little bit of air units, just to get a little bit of early air control, maybe deny a third base. He wasn't able to do it here, but he might. But I'll bet a lot of the times when he gets these quick units out, he can often defend against that third base, especially if he's good about force fielding that ramp so that this Stargate doesn't get scouted. Possibly deny a third, and it gives him a little bit of map control. Right now, I would say that NaNiWa does have the map control right now, as he does have these 2 units, this Phoenix out and this Void Ray, that are able to just constantly scout around the map. If you check out the map right now, you can see that Rhett doesn't really have that much vision on the map right now. He does have a few Zerglings placed around the map for a little bit of spotting, but overall, he does not have a whole lot of map control. And this is strictly because NaNiWa has these 2 air units out. These 2 air units out on the field are allowing him to kill off and snipe any Overlords that are out on the map, lets him get a few free Overlord kills, and it allows him the time to tech up to these Colossi, and soon, hopefully, he's going to hope that Rhett is going to go for something that's a little more anti-air oriented, and then he's just going to push out, and he's going to have a couple of Colossi here with a small force of gateway units that are hopefully going to be able to do a lot of damage to LiquidRet. Rhett so far has gone for a lot of Hydralisks. These Hydralisks do not do that well against those Colossi. These Hydralisks actually fall very, very fast to Colossi. So he is going to need to be very careful about how he controls his units. 1 Colossi now out on the field, a second Colossi coming down. In the meantime, looks like Rhett is going to be going for the Zergling counterattack. He saw his opponent's forces moving out, and all those Zerglings are now moving into the natural expansion of NaNiWa, and it looks like he's sending very nice little split there, sent half of his half of his lings into the natural line, and was trying to send his other Zerglings up into the main, but nice little warp in there by NaNiWa, was able to catch all those Zerglings on the ramp, didn't allow them into the main, and his his main was left unharassed, and it looks like he did manage to pick off a lot of kills there. In the meantime, NaNiWa is moving into the base of LiquidRet. A lot of damage here being done, so a lot of force fields going down. All he's got is these few Hydralisks to try to defend against this attack. NaNiWa is going to need to get a lot of forces up very soon. He's got a lot of Hydralisks and a lot of Zerglings here planted in these Overlords. This is a very interesting style of play for Rhett. I don't know if he's trying to feign, trying to make it look as though he's got a lot of Banelings, but no, he's actually dropping Hydralisks, which is a very interesting style of play for Rhett. It's going to allow these Hydralisks to get in very close to these Colossi and be able to deal a lot of damage, so it's kind of a cool way of playing that I've never ever seen before, but this is just a lot of units from NaNiWa. Lots of forces being rallied in from Rhett, but this dealing a lot of damage here from NaNiWa. Nice control by NaNiWa, pulling his Colossi back, trying to stay as far back as he can. They do have that extended thermal lance, so they are able to do a lot of damage from far back, letting these Stalkers take a lot of damage, while he just keeps his Colossi back and able to deal a lot of damage. Has this forward Phoenix scouting up front at the front of his army. Very, very nice unit control there from NaNiWa. Looks like he's going to continue to try to push in and deal a lot of damage here, and Rhett is just being forced to macro up quite a bit. Rhett still ahead in the food count, 120 to 108 food. This is all thanks to his early droning. Early on, he droned up so hard, he's currently almost at 70 harvesters to the 50 of NaNiWa, and keep in mind that this is on 3 base as opposed to NaNiWa's 2 base, so at some point that second base is not going to be mining quite so much as all these workers of Rhett, since he is on these 3 bases. Rhett now throwing down a couple of Spine Crawlers to try to defend here, and it looks like he's going to be going for a Zergling counterattack, and there are currently no forces here for NaNiWa, but NaNiWa throws up a pylon there. I think he might have seen those Zerglings coming there with that forward pylon, throws down a pylon, able to block off those forces. In the meantime, he's moving back into the 3rd base of LiquidRet, but there are so many roaches here. Rhett has managed to macro up quite a few roaches here, so NaNiWa's going to have to be very careful in those Colossi. Need to stay behind those Stalkers, try to let those Stalkers try to take as much of the damage from those Stalkers as possible, and let these Colossi sit back and do as much damage as they can. I'm actually surprised that there are no more Colossi coming down, and I spoke too soon, as there are now 1 more Colossus coming down. Zerglings now out on the field to deny any expansions. Rhett, with a lot of forces coming in from the back on NaNiWa, snipes both the Colossi, and now all the forces of Rhett are now moving forward. This is looking like a very nice defense here from Rhett, now that he's up in the food count, 161 food to the 106 food count of NaNiWa, and it looks like Rhett is going to be pushing for the win here, as he's on 3 base. He has been very well scouting this 3rd base of NaNiWa, so he knows that he's ahead on 3rd base, even if he doesn't know that this expansion is about to go down right now. There are a lot of forces here, a lot of roaches coming in for Rhett. These forces are 1-0 to NaNiWa's 0 upgrades. This one Colossi here, though, is now going to deny these roaches from doing too much damage. This is a lot of Stalkers right now. 1 sentry here in the forces of NaNiWa, but wow, nice surround there. Nice concave by LiquidRet. And the second Colossi now does come out, and it looks like they are going to be denying these forces from dealing too much damage. The reinforcements from Rhett actually taking some damage there from NaNiWa. NaNiWa trying to get into a good position here to defend both of his bases. He's trying to dominate this airspace, or this ground space rather, here, but oh my god, so many roaches coming in now from Rhett. NaNiWa is being careful to micro these Colossi back, trying to keep them back, trying to prevent these Stalkers from dealing, trying to keep these Stalkers taking all the damage while these Colossi deal the damage, but just so many roaches are now being morphed in here for Rhett. So many forces now still streaming across the field, and it looks like NaNiWa is forced to GG. So that means that LiquidRet is going to take Game 1, and we are going to go into Game 2 here in just a moment. My name is Glitch, and here we go.